America we've all dreamed of. Now we get to live it and see what it's like. We've already written 100 movies. I mean, tomorrow, for all I know, I'll walk out and there'll be cyborg machines from the future shooting at me, or perhaps a large asteroid will be coming towards Earth, or I mean, all these cool things that were predicted in the future. Turns out some of them happen.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's Handmaid's Tale meets Armageddon.
Yeah.
Something. Okay.
Something like that.
Let's do it.
I just love, you are, as we call you, our alpha liberal. And I love, you just like went after it on Twitter. You said, hang on a second. You said, hold please, wait. These are the better ones, but this is where you went. Let's not pretend Republicans could give two about abortion as life. Or you can ask GOP Representative Scott, I don't know how you say his last name, DeJarlis, of Tennessee, who's so pro-life he pushed both his wife and mistress, a patient of his, to get abortions. You could also ask former pro-life GOP Congressman Tim Murphy, who also pressured his mistress to get an abortion, so devoted to his belief in life. You can also want to talk to Deputy Republican National Committee Finance Chairman Elliot Broidy, as he was also very lifey, except when it came to pressuring the mistress to get an abortion. Wow, you just said we even found out about Oregon's 6th district. He's so very anti-abortion, the GOP congressional candidate there, except when it's his ex-girlfriend for whom he gave $300 and a ride to the clinic to. And you wouldn't want to forget right-wing moral scold Mark Robinson, Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina, who in the past paid for his wife to have an abortion, though he thinks you shouldn't have the same rights. Wait, you weren't done, Cliff. And, of course, we learned recently about big brain Lauren Boebert, who, according to Newsweek, had 2 abortions. She celebrated the overturning of Roe today because Boebert doesn't have to follow any silly rules. Those are just for you. Okay, so you did a little bit of research.
Actually, honestly, it's you can quickly Google it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was just a quick Google search.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I gotta say, that's what we were saying. Fight by any means necessary now, and absolutely, every Republican that's ever paid for an abortion ought to be outed immediately. Yep. I hope more women start coming forward. I mean, I don't. Again, and it got to be confirmed. I don't know, but I saw something on Twitter this morning. A high school girlfriend of Ivanka's said she got an abortion in high school.
Yeah, I saw that
but
one too. I mean, again, I'll try to confirm everything I can. When Newsweek reported it, that's when I wrote about Boebert. Do I know? In the end, I'm not going to be like them. I'm not going to make stuff up. But they are hypocrites. I'm so exhausted. I've said this so many times on this show before and other places by Democrats who say, well, we must be better than them. And you can better them all the way to authoritarianism if you want. Or you can win the support of voters by showing how they're trying to take away rights from voters that whenever they feel like it, because they're better than us apparently, they can avail themselves of those rights. They're going to keep paying for their mistresses' abortions. They're going to keep getting abortions. They don't care because for them, they know this doesn't take away any rights. It's just everybody else. And they don't have as far as I'm concerned, they just took away our right to privacy. They have no right to privacy. Yeah. Anything I find out about them, I'm putting out there.
Yep. You said anyone not seeing the connection between white life. We just played that, the Republican candidate who thanked Donald Trump for preserving white life. I guess, did she claim it's a misspeak or I don't know. Anyway, you said, and Barrett and Alito's domestic supply of infants is missing the plot. It's white male rule at all costs, whether it's increasing gun violence in black neighborhoods, spiking white births, or cheating so white votes count more. You can call it GOP endgame. Electing Obama, then Hillary right after, which they thwarted with the help of Daddy Putin and the whole force field, the Electoral College, freaked them the F out. This on top of changing demos they see all around. They're not misspeaking, they're speaking. And believe them, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're freaked out. They're looking at the fact that we're going to start electing people that don't look like them, love like them, talk like them, vote like them, and they're used to having control over everything. Hence, if voter suppression isn't enough, they're going to go to other means. And I honestly, I really do. I'm sorry. People can call me a conspiracist. I think a lot of behind the guns is they want more black people to die in poor neighborhoods, in inner city neighborhoods, often because they don't want more black babies born. They don't want more non-white babies born. They want to continue control. And I don't have to guess this because a top Reagan advisor, Ben Wattenberg, in 1987 wrote this in a book where he said, there's a couple of ways we can try to do this, but if we let in more immigrants, a lot of them are going to be non-white. So that's not going to solve our problem. If we want to continue this being a white America, 60% of aborted babies would be white. So we need to get rid of abortion. So this has always been part of the whole, I mean, it all kind of comes together in their sort of white supremacist view of the world. And that I have to believe that that's a big reason why they're doing
Well, this everyone knows this will fall more disproportionately on poor and black and women of color. And you had an interesting thought because you live in Ohio, Cliff. You said they have no earthly effing idea how many of us will move to Michigan or Chicago or back to the coast. Good luck paying for all your new kids now. Opioid addiction, diabetes, gun violence, etc. in the Farm Belt near Indiana and Appalachia, bordering Kentucky and West Virginia when we leave in droves again. And you said, to be blunt, you need our taxes, the jobs we create, philanthropy. I'm hearing a lot of that anger out there, Cliff.
Well, I'm tired of their effing hypocrisy. I'm just tired of it. Welfare, and they cry and whatever. All of the red states are the net takers. All of the blue states and even purple ones are the ones who, purple ones are back and forth, but all the blue ones are the ones who are paying for all of the social problems that exist in red states, because red states elect stupid red governors, state governors, who just exacerbate the problems by cutting health care, cutting abortion rights, putting more guns on the street, not protecting people from COVID, and every other dumb thing you can do and not following science. And at some point, I love this state. I grew up in New York City. I lived in Washington, D.C. I chose to live in Cincinnati, and I still think Cincinnati is a beautiful and wonderful city. I love it here. But if this state overall keeps going in the direction it's going in, so that my area that votes 70% for Biden is going to be overrun by the state, can I tell my kids to come back to that? I'm not saying I have to move to California or New York, but let's go solidify the states that are lean blue. Let's go solidify Arizona and Georgia and Michigan. And I get it where people are worried that we're going to abandon all these states and we will never win the Electoral College. But in a state like this, if they right now, after what we've just seen, after Mike DeWine just put guns in schools, thankfully my kids' schools will not have them because of the district we're in. But if they do that here, and on top of that, they add some ridiculous 6-week heartbeat bill. It is not a heartbeat.
It's not a heartbeat. Guess who said that a long time ago? Dr. Oz. Any doctor. It's not a heartbeat. It's not a heart. No. It's not a formed organ.
Of course.
Yeah.
And if they do that here, and they're already having trouble retaining people in this state, even though there's a lot of job opportunities in Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. But then if Michigan, which seems to be heading back to sanity, they just got rid of their gerrymandering, they have a Democratic governor. Why wouldn't you go to Detroit or Ann Arbor or somewhere instead? Why wouldn't you go to Minneapolis if you think you've got a chance? Why wouldn't you go to these kinds of places? I'll just say quickly, I know I've been blathering on.
That's okay.
But Mike DeWine and J.D. Vance and these people are killing this state. The economic output comes from people like us. I'm sorry if that offends poor rural white people. Too effing bad, because that's the truth.
By the way, we had you on to blather on. But secondly, you mentioned California, and I just thought you personally, Cliff, if you wanted to move somewhere where they're, Super Bowl champions instead of Super Bowl losers, you might want to consider L.A.
Damn you, Miller.
I will never stop trash talking you and your Bengals.
Until your guy, what's his name? Oh my God, your receiver comes in.
Oh, don't start with that stupid ref call, because all right.
Oh yeah, when that happens, we're gonna beat your butts. Sorry, I won't say the bad word.
Yeah. Bengals come to the Rams' house and rip it up.
I'll move out there for the sun. Hey, you're from upstate New York. We beat the crap out of Buffalo. I'm just going to say that.
Oh, listen. I'm an LA girl now. You can't try that with me.
I'm trying anything I can. You know me. I'll argue about anything.
Even in the midst of Armageddon, we're just going to go down together. We'll still be fighting about Rams.
We have to. Yeah, but we have to. During Armageddon, if you can't have a slap fight and enjoy yourself, what else is there?
Then you're Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh my God.
A tap on the back and he's crying. I mean, there's such victims.
He did go just tap his back, but you again don't play
he
into
tapped
there.
His back less hard than that 15-year-old did in the Borat video. Let's put it that way.
A tap on the back and hey scumbag is the official greeting of Staten Island, isn't it?
I agree with the president. Here he is. The president. Yesterday.
Everyone, no matter how deeply they care about this decision, to keep all protests peaceful. Peaceful, peaceful, peaceful. No intimidation. Violence is never acceptable. Threats and intimidation are not speech. We must stand against violence in any form, regardless of your rationale.
Don't get me wrong. Rudy Giuliani belongs under the prison for so many treasonous acts, but do not touch or tap.
And I want to be clear. I'm laughing at him because it wasn't much, and he whined about it because they whined about everything. But obviously, I completely abhor and don't endorse violence and don't endorse intimidation. I do think offering your free speech rights the way they've done outside of abortion clinics, when I was in the board of Planned Parenthood and they screamed at women going in, I'm not saying I would do that to them even, but I'm sorry, when they whine and cry because there's people across the street, peacefully, by the way, marching from where Kavanaugh lives, they'll get no sympathy from me. They created this atmosphere. Don't intimidate them. Don't threaten them. Don't do anything like that. But you know what? If you're on a public sidewalk and you're in a public place and they're walking to Congress or they're walking out of their house, I don't care. They created this atmosphere, and there's no reason you shouldn't protest them peacefully.
Yeah. By the way, I just had to slap back at John Cornyn. So what was he? Explain this to people. He was responding to President Obama's reaction to Roe v. Wade falling, and he's like, now do Plessy and Brown versus Board. And you just said, now follow your logic here, you rickety old pasty buffoon, and do Loving versus Virginia. Go ask your buds Clarence Thomas and Mitch McConnell how they'd feel about that. I mean, go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. I mean, funny he did that Clarence Thomas didn't mention that one, right? When he mentioned Obergefell and the other ones. Funny he didn't, the fact that he got married in Nebraska, a place that had maybe 15 years earlier would not have allowed him to marry his crazy cult member, seditionist wife. So, it's amazing these guys, Mitch McConnell, who's married to Elaine Chao. These are the kinds of marriages that were not allowed, by the way, back then. And but again, it's like the abortion thing. It's okay for them. They'll tell you that you can't get married to somebody of a different race. They'll tell you who you can love and how you can love them. And I mean, the most extreme one to me, again, that we should be running on in messaging. I mean, Lawrence versus Texas. What Peeping Thomas now himself wants to come, they should have like a little picture of him looking up in your window.
Right.
He wants to come and see if maybe you're not having sex in missionary position, a man and a woman, to have a child. Sodomy isn't just gay people having sex.
Thank you.
It's straight people having sex any way to not procreate.
You were doing the V8 ad there. Sodomy, it's not just for straight people anymore.
Exactly.
Gay people
it's
anymore.
for us all. It's fun. You should try it. I mean, this is what this man is talking about. Why don't we explain that to a couple people out there, what he's talking about, how invasive these guys want to get in your life.
Yeah. No, exactly. But let's not even get exactly. How do you even get to the practicality of that? No gay sex in the privacy of your own home. How are you going to police that? I mean, it's okay.
The same way they'll try to police if you're leaving the state for abortion. The only way they can do that, by the way, is if they're spying on your social media, if they're going to your friends and people and pressuring them to share information on you. In other words, what we like to call a police state.
Yeah.
This is the only way they can do it.
Yep.